everyone, welcome to Aman's Music School. My name is Aman. Today I'm going to be going through the very basics of Tabla, which is the module 1 of our school. So starting off with, we're looking at the very basic syllables. So starting off, make sure that the tabla is positioned nice and close to your shins, and the tabla drum, if you are right-handed, should be facing northwest, and if you're a left-handed player, should be facing northeast with a slight tilt forward to make sure your arm, your wrist is all in one level plane. Same thing with the baya. If you are a left-handed player with the baya, you want to make sure it's facing northeast, and if you are a right-handed player for the baya, you want to make sure it's facing northwest. Slight tilt, again making sure that the hand all the way up to the forearm is nice straight in one level plane. Okay, starting off with the baya, with the bass drum, we've got two basic syllables. So first of all, we're going to start with ghe. So that's G-E, ghe. So to play it, very simply, you cup your wrist into a C shape or like a serpent's head, whichever way you want to call it. And you want to make sure that the bottom of your wrist is just before the CI line over here. That's where it should be resting. And with the motion of the wrist, you need to flick downwards with the middle finger coming into contact in the Maidan area, which plays ghe, ghe, as so. And you want to listen for this boom. Make sure you're getting this boom. Okay? So that's one of the syllables. The other syllable that we're going to learn on the bass drum is ke, K-E, ke. So this is a very simple, from the same position, you want to just put a flat slapping sort of motion onto the baya to make it completely cut off of any resonance. Ke, ke. Okay, so that's ke, ghe, ke, ghe, and ke. Moving on to the daya. This is where things get a little bit complicated. So you have the very first and very core syllable, ta. This is a very important syllable. You would definitely want to make sure that you have practiced this quite a few times. Okay, so very basically, finger number 3, we're going to place just on the outer third of the CI to you. Okay, with the fingernail roughly covering with a very gentle resting pressure on the CI itself. Finger number 4, our little pinky finger, also rests along the side. Finger number 2, our middle finger, stays elevated. And with your finger number 1, which is your index finger, from the fingertip, you are going to hit just the area of the kinar, which is the line here between the kinar and the Maidan. So, and it's a flicking motion of the wrist. So you want to flick the wrist up and bring it down. Do not use your knuckles as the point of your energy source, because it's very limited in energy and you will not get the right tonal quality. Make sure that you are using your hand weight to bring your finger down to the contact point. So it should sound nice and sharp like this. Ta, 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 ta. Now what you got to make sure is that every time you're tapping your finger, make sure the sound is uniform. The ta should sound ta every time in a consistent sound. Okay? Now, one thing you must not do is you must never play the ta from the mid part of your finger where the bone is. That is something that you don't want to do, because you'll start forming calluses. And signs of calluses generally are signs that you're playing with incorrect technique. Okay, so you want to use the fingertips at all times for all the syllables we are going to cover. So ta, okay, with the flick of the wrist. Moving on to the next syllable, tin. It's exactly the same as the ta, so we're going to use the same momentum, same positioning, only the striking point is going to change. So now we're going to cross over, we're going to pivot over slightly ahead into the Maidan and crossing into the CI to give us a slightly more blunt tone. Tin, tin. As you can tell, it sounds like kind of like a ta with a cold. Yeah, so ta, nice and sharp, and tin. Note how the hand is pivoting from this finger to get into the position. Now, moving on, you've got another syllable, which is tun, which can also be pronounced as tin at times, depending on the exercise that you're playing. So, for this tun, what we need to do is finger number 1, you want to tap roughly in the top third of the CI that is close to you. Okay, so just up in the first 2 rings. So if you look at your finger, so the first line, that is the sort of area that needs to come in contact with the CI, just up here. Okay, now simple motion is a gentle flick of the finger while the hand is moving down onto the tabla to create this very open resonance. Tun, tun. Again, when you're playing this syllable, you might find that a few times that tun is not loud enough, but that's okay. That will come with practice, that will come with technique. But make sure as many as you can, you are trying to get that unique tone, that uniform tone. Okay, now moving on to the next syllable is ti, t. Okay, so ti, t, we're going to use the 2-finger technique for this. Ti, t. So basically from the ta position, we are going to move our hand ever so slightly forward, getting our fingertip of finger number 2, which is the middle finger, to hit dead into the very center of the CI. Ti, ti, ti. Finger numbers 3 and 4 will always remain down to help cut any resonance of the instrument, because we are looking for a very rock-like tone. Ti, ti. It's a very profound, very strong tone. Ti. Now, pairing this is t, the syllable t. That is played with your index finger or finger number 1. So, ti, t, ti, t. The t strikes exactly the same way, the fingertip roughly about in the same area as the ti did. So ti, t, ti, t. Now to make things a little bit easier, what we can do is we can slide the hand ever so to the right without lifting fingers 3 and 4. Remember, we want to keep that sound as shut off as possible, as blunt as possible. So keeping the support there will help that. Ti, t, ti, okay, now moving on to the final syllable that we are going to do on the daya is the ti. So don't get this mixed up with the ti, t, so that comes as a pair. This is an independent syllable. So ti is not coming far forward. It's played with the same finger, which is our middle finger, which is our finger number 2, but not in the same position. So if you remember where we played tun, we're going to play the ti from that very same spot, but this time with our middle finger. So from the ta position, it's just the middle finger that taps into that area. Ti. And you will find that it's a lot more subtle and it's a lot more softer, this particular ti. Again, fingers 3 and 4 are resting to cut off any sort of resonance, because we don't need resonance with this. Ti. Ti. Now, looking at combinations. Combinations are made with the baya and daya played together. So the first combination that we're going to look at is of dha. Dha. This is simply ta and ghe played together at the same time. So dha, 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 dha. Now initially you might find that it's a bit of a struggle getting the coordination right between the left hand and the right hand. Don't worry, that's perfectly normal. And through practice, you will get that right. Making sure that while you're playing dha, your bass, the ghe, is still sounding as ghe as it should, and the ta should also sound the way it should. The positions should not change whatsoever. da, 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 da. Moving on to the next combination, we have din. So it's basically the inside of the tin that we learned to play just on the Maidan and the CI. So that's tin paired with a ghe at the same time. It becomes din, 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 din. So do you realize a pattern that's coming here? That all the syllables on the right hand drum or the tabla start with a t, with a t, with a t. And all the bass syllables on their own are either ghe or a ke. But pair them together, all the syllables that you play on the right hand drum become from t to dh. So ta becomes da, tin becomes din, tun becomes dun. So tun becomes dun there, ti becomes di, tit becomes dit. So tit becomes dit, becomes dit. Okay, so these are some of the very basic syllables that you can practice in your first attempt to getting comfortable with the tabla. There are many more syllables yet to follow, but these are the very crucial syllables that will get your hand going. And then later on down this course, we will look at some of those more syllables. So guys, don't forget to visit our Facebook page, like, follow, and share our Facebook page. And if you want to join the school, go to the Facebook page and drop me a message, and I'll be more than happy to accept anybody who wants to learn tabla. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video, guys. See you soon. So guys, welcome to lesson number 3 of your first module, which is now all about the taals. So let's get to know a little bit of the basic structure about the taals. So what is a taal? A taal, very basically, is the number of beats within a given cycle. Okay, so for example, we have 4 beats per cycle, 5 beats per cycle, 6 beats per cycle, 7 beats per cycle, 8 beats per cycle. Now these taals all have a different name, and they have a very distinct pattern, which we will look at. So first one we're going to start off, okay, is with the Keherwa, the 4 beats, Keherwa. Okay, so you first have a bhari and khali system. Now a bhari khali system is very basically a taal has a rule that it's divided into equal halves as much as we possibly could try. So in the case of Keherwa, or 4 beats, it's divided into 2 beats and 2 beats. So it's dha ghe na tin na ke din na, dha ghe na tin na ke din na. Now these divisions are shown by the bhari and khali. The bhari being the first half, khali being the second half. So dha ghe na tin na ke din na, dha ghe na tin na ke din na. So the khali tends to show that the second half, and we show it by the opening of the hand. The bhari we tend to show with the clap. So dha ghe na tin na ke din na, dha ghe na tin na ke din na. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this pattern that I am saying, dha ghe na tin na ke din na. Now this is a pattern that identifies the taal that you are playing. So with every taal, this pattern changes. So we have to memorize this. So dha ghe na tin na ke din na is the pattern for 4 beats Keherwa. Okay. Now, so that is your dha ghe na tin na ke din na. Note that the tin that I am playing is the inside tin, the one which sounds like it's got a cold. Tin na. So dha ghe na tin na ke din na, dha ghe na tin na ke din na. Now this pattern is called a teka. This is a key word for you to know, that a teka is basically the name given to the identification pattern, which helps us recognize which taal is being played. So the teka in the 4 beat Keherwa is dha ghe na tin na ke din na, dha ghe na tin na ke din na. Now this is commonly played in very fast tempo, so you will be playing something along the lines of din na din na din na din na din na din na filling and a lot of rudari, as we call, which is our own variation of it that happens with every single tabla player, and it will happen with you at some point. But for now, dha, ghe, na, tin, na, ke, dhin, is what you will be practicing for this. So happy practicing, and we'll see you very soon with lesson 4. Hey guys, welcome to lesson 4 of module 1, the very basics of tabla, and we are now looking at Taal Dhadra. Dhadra is a 6-beat taal, and as we mentioned before, the attributes of the taals. So we have the bhari khali system. So let's go over that first of all. So the basic counting is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Now beat number 1 is called the sum. Now this is the same with all taals. Beat number 1 is called the sum. It's your starting and your finishing point. Okay, so let's look at the teka of Dhadra. So dha dhinna, dha tinna, dha dhinna, dha tinna. Now let's look at its tali system. So dha dhinna, dha tinna, dha dhinna, dha tinna. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So the 1 being the sum and 4 being the khali on this particular taal. So it's divided again equally into 3 beats and 3 beats. So 1, 2, 3, bhari, and the khali 4, 5, 6. And the taal, the teka fits over dha dhinna, dha tinna, dha dhinna, dha tinna. So very important with this, with all taals especially, that you must keep within a rhythmic pattern. It should not speed up and it should not slow down. So make sure that when you're playing any particular taal, you are playing it in a nice rhythmic pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. One good way of doing that is you can actually put a metronome and have a metronome clicking away on the side, and that will also help you guide the dha dhinna, dha tinna, the correct rhythmic gaps. Okay, so I hope that was useful, and I will see you very soon in lesson 5. Hey, welcome back to Aman's Music School, and we are looking at lesson 5 of module 1. So, lesson 5. What taal are we looking at? We are looking at Taal Roopak. Now, Taal Roopak is a very beautiful taal. It's one of my personal favorite taals. Now, Taal Roopak has a 7-beat time cycle. Now, the division of this is very beautiful because it's a very odd number. It's not possible to divide it into equal numbers. So, what do? We try to do the next best thing. We get 3 equal slots to the best that we can. So, let's look at this mathematical division of Taal Roopak. So, having the 7 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. That is the basic count. Now, the beauty of this is that the sum is at the point of the khali. This is one of only the taals that actually have this fascinating quality that it starts from the khali. The sum is at the khali. So, the way you would show this, the pattern division, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. So let's look at it in the tali system. So as we said, the sum is in the khali. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Now let's look at the teka. Tin, tinna, dinna, dinna, tin, dinna, dinna, dinna. So let's see how we're going to play that. So the tin again is the same one with the flute sort of sound effect inside. Tin. So tin, tinna, dinna, dinna, tin, tinna, dinna, dinna. So let's slow that down a little bit. Din, din, na, din, na, din, na, 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 din. Now, as you can see, as a filler, what I am doing is with the tin, I'm adding the K syllable. Now, the K becomes silent in front of the tin because this is a dominating hand. It's a dominating drum. So, this just adds a little bit of more flavor and a little bit of more improvisation into the overall plain sound of the tin. So, tin, tin, na, tin, na, tin, na, tin, tin, na, tin, na, tin, na, tin. Okay, so that is the beauty behind Taal Roopak. I hope you guys found that as enjoyable as I do. Keep practicing Taal Roopak and we will see you very soon with another Taal. See you later. Hey everyone, welcome to lesson 6 of module 1 at Aman's Music School. My name is Aman. So we are looking now at Taal Keherwa. So let's not get this confused. Yes, I know we have gone through Taal Keherwa before and it's 4 beats, but hey ho, there's another Taal called Keherwa as well. This time it's in 8 beats. So let's look at this structure then. So 8 beats, what is going to be the simple count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. So that's the basic count. All right. So the Taal division is 4 and 4. So it's broken into equal halves. So the bhari at the first 4, khali the last 4. Obviously 1 being the sum. So let's just look at the count with the tali then, shall we? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. The khali being at beat number 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Now let's look at the teka for a bit. So the teka, and I'm sure you've heard this many times, is played very commonly in songs and ghazals especially as well. So dha tit tin tin, ta tit din din, dha tit tin tin, ta tit din din, dha tit tin tin, ta tit din din. Now let's put the tali system and the teka together. Dha tit tin tin, ta tit din din, dha tit din tin, ta tit din din. Now let's look at this. So you've got dha, Okay, so that is the structure behind the 8 beats Keherwa. Have fun practicing it. See you shortly. Hey guys, welcome to Aman's Music School. My name is Aman. So we are now looking at lesson number 7. So up to now we have looked at some of the lighter classical taals such as Roopak, Dhadra, Keherwa and Keherwa in 8 beats. Now we're going to look at some classical taals. So starting off with, we're going to look at Jhaptaal, a 10 beat cycle. Now the beat division that you are looking at is 2, 3, 2, 3. So again, it's divided into 2 equal halves. So the first 5 and the second 5, that's where your khali is. So 2, 3, 2, 3. So how does that go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1. So let's look at the teka. Din na, din din na, din na, dhin dhinna, dhinna, dhin dhinna, dinna, dhin dhinna. So, how do we enunciate that with the tali system together? So, dhinna, dhin dhinna, dinna, dhin dhinna, dinna, dhin dhinna, dinna, dhin dhinna. Let's have a look at playing it now, shall we? So, I'll slow it down a little bit. Dinna, din, dinna, 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 din. That is your taker and the tali system and your beat division for Taal and Jhaptaal. Good luck practicing with this Taal, and I shall see you next week with another Taal. Take care. Hey everyone, welcome to Aman's Music School. My name is Aman, and today for lesson number 8 of this module 1, we are looking at Taal Ektaal. Ektaal is a 12-beat time cycle. It's a very beautiful Taal, and you're going to have a really good time learning it. So, let's have a look at the divisions for Taal Ektaal. So, Ektaal is divided into 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Quite easy, right? So, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So, let's have a look at the basic count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1. So, let's look at the tali system, the bhari khali. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1. So, let's look at the taker of this. Okay? So, din din dhage tirikata tu na katta dhage tirikata din na din din dhage tirikata tu na katta dhage tirikata din na din din dhage tirikata tu na katta dhage tirikata din na. Now the two new syllables here that you might have not previously covered from these videos up to now is the tirikata syllable and the katta. You actually do know how to play it, but it's sometimes that they are pronounced in certain ways to try to make it sound as realistic to the sound of the instrument that it creates. So, katta, for example, is simply katta, ke and ta. So, katta, 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 katta. Okay, so that's the katta. And tirikita now is, we are going to play for this particular taker, the middle finger and the ring finger, so your fingers 2 and 3 are going to hit the middle of the CI as so, T, R, followed by the index finger, T, R. So these two as a pair, T, R, K, T, T, R, K, T, T, R, K, T, T, R, K, T, T, R, K, T. Alright, so T, R, K, T. So let's go back to the taker now. So din din dage tu na katta dage din na din din dage tu na katta dage din na din din dage tu na katta dage din na. So let's slow it down even more. So din din dage tu na katta dage din na din din dage tu na katta dage din na. So that is your taker and your entire system for Taal Ektaal, 12 beats. So I hope you guys have fun practicing this. See you next time. Hey guys, welcome back to Aman's Music School. My name is Aman and we are looking at lesson 9 of this particular Taal structure that we are looking at. So what are we looking at today? We are looking at a 14-beat time cycle and it's called Taal Deepchandi. Yes, that's right, Taal Deepchandi. Now, some of you, I'm sure, that do listen to Indian music, you would have heard a very famous song, Aaj Jaane Ki Zid Na Karo, or if you listen to Bollywood, you might hear Abhi Mujh Mein Kahin Baki Thodi Hai Zindagi by the lovely Sonu Nigam ji. So, that particular song, as well as the Aaj Jaane Ki Zid Na Karo by the great Farida Khanum ji, has been sung in Taal Deepchandi, which is 14 beats. So, let's have a look at this structure, shall we? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 1. So that is your entire 14 beats as it is. So let's look at the beat structure, the divisions. So it's divided into 3, 4, 3, 4. Okay, so 3 and 4, 3 and 4. So let's have a look at this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 1. That is your Taal Deepchandi. Now, let's look at the take-up. Okay, so dha din, dha tin, ta tin, dha din, dha din, dha tin, ta tin, dha din. Now you've noticed that there's a bit of a gap. So from dha din, dha tin. So there's a 1 beat gap there. So that's very important to maintain throughout this entire take-up. So dha din, dha tin, ta tin, dha din, dha din, dha tin, ta tin, dha din. So that gap of that click is very important to maintain in order to maintain the regularity of the 14 beats. So let's look at the take-up and the tali put together. So dha din, dha tin, ta tin, dha din, dha din, dha tin, ta tin, dha din, dha din, dha tin, ta tin, dha din, dha. Okay, so that's how the take-up fits. Let's have a look at playing the take-up now. So dha din, dha tin, ta tin, dha din, 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 dha din, dha tin, ta tin, dha din. So that is the count for Deepchandi. Happy practicing, guys, and I shall see you next week with our final lesson for this module. See you next week. Hey everyone, welcome back to Aman's Music School. My name is Aman and we are here for the very final Taal that we are going to be looking at in this course, and it is none and only Taal, Teentaal. Now, a little bit of fun fact about Teentaal, the reason why it's called Teentaal. So if you literally translate the name, Teen means number 3. Taal obviously is referring to the number of beats per cycle. So Teentaal, the way it's been put together, it's actually got teen taliyan. So tali, obviously the clap. So that's where Teentaal gets its name from. So Teentaal. So it's got teen taliyan, 3 claps. Okay, so let's see how those claps come in. First of all, the basic count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1. Now the claps fall on 1, 5, and 13. The khali falls on number 9. Again, 2 equal halves. So it's divided into 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, so let's look at this division. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1. Okay, so now let's look at the take up. The take up. Dha, din, din, na. Dha, din, din, na. Dha, din, din, na. Da, din, din, na. Let's have a play of it. So, da, din, din, na. 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 Da. So guys, that was the basic structure of Taal Teentaal. So that was the Tali structure, the Bhari Khali system, looking at the beat division, and we just looked at the taker of it. So have a quick practice of that over the course of this week, and I shall see you then for module 2. So we start getting into the big action stuff. All right guys, happy practicing, and I shall see you in module 2.